Oh, you like that one? That was pretty good, I thought. Give me some kind of laugh for that one, no?
Oh, I thought you had a laugh track or something. I was waiting for it.
I got a rim shot.
There we
Yeah,
go.
but I cut the music off. Yeah. So we do have two kittens here, two little tiny orange kittens that are really a lot of fun. The main form of entertainment they're finding right now are these blinds, the strings on the blinds. They're jumping on them. And what's interesting about this room is that the radio studio has carpeted walls,
For the
and
sound
for the sound, yeah, it kind of helps with the sound in here, and
or for the groovy.
or just because it's groovy. Back in the 70s or before, this would have been a stinky studio because the carpet, this would smoke in here, and it would
Oh.
just stay in the carpet. But no, they can climb these walls. It's like little Spider-Men here, as these little orange cats are jumping all over the place, having a good time. Ron's been telling you today about a couple different things. We're going to focus in on the breed of the week. We're going to talk about dogs, of course, too. It is the soft-coated Wheaton, and if people are curious, it is a terrier, and I'd like for you to explain, that breed if you could, and I'd love to hear from a soft-coated Wheaton owner. If you own one, well, call us. Tell us the name of your dog. Tell us a little bit about your dog, and we'll set you up with a free bag of treats and a free bag of dog food courtesy of Nutro just for calling the show. So go ahead and do that at 319-354-0800, 319-354-0800. So tell us about this breed if you could, Ron.
So this is a more recent, as far as history goes. They've only been able to document it about 200 years ago. They were around, but they just don't. There's no documentation to find anything on it. What's interesting is what was happening back then is happening today. The soft-coated Wheaton is a terrier. It is a mid-size, so a 30 to 40-pound dog. So some of us would say that's a large breed, and I would agree with you there. So if you're looking for that bigger dog that is non-shedding, and that's the unique thing about the soft-coated Wheaton, it would be considered a low-shedding dog. All dogs do shed, but the ones that shed less, those are the ones that we typically say, oh, it's non-shedding. They shed like we shed. We shed hair as well. So does the soft-coated Wheaton, just at a much lower rate. So you would have to groom the soft-coated Wheaton. Because it's a terrier, yes, it does have a little more energy than the average, but it's not hyper in any way as far as that goes. As a puppy, they're going to have that puppy energy, but they calm down a little bit. But they do have a little bit more energy than the typical large breed dog. This is, because it's a non-shedding dog, you're going to have to do the grooming and the combing and get the haircut and all that kind of stuff to prevent the mats and to keep things manageable. What's neat is this size dog, they actually do recommend that you don't have to have a big house for this guy. They actually say an apartment is okay. I think that's pushing it just a little bit. You're going to have to make sure that you get outside to exercise a soft-coated Wheaton Terrier to get that energy out and all that kind of thing, so that you just don't have all that bundle of energy running around in your house. Some neat things about, like what I was going to say for the history. So back 200 years in Ireland, when the soft-coated Wheaton was gaining its popularity, it was known as the poor man's dog. It did everything that all the other dogs did. It hunted, it protected, it did all these crazy things, but it just was known as the poor man's dog. Today, what happens when it gets to that status? It's just there's too many in the population, and so it becomes very common. And that okay, commoners and they have the dog, and then they kind of go down that the poor man's dog thing. Well, a similar thing happened in America here just within the last 10 years. The soft-coated Wheaton was a very popular breed in the United States, but everybody had one, and everybody was breeding them, and it got kind of overpopulated, and people got tired of it. So right now, it's actually very difficult to find a soft-coated Wheaton out there. So it's no longer the poor man's dog. It's now back to, oh wow, you have to spend a lot of money to get one of those because of the population is on the lower route. It's not going to lose existence or anything like that. But what will happen in the market is the breeders will come back into it because they'll find out that not many people are breeding them, and hey, there's a demand for them, and so they'll get back into it. So that's an interesting thing on how all breeds go through these cycles. The Yorkshire Terrier went through a cycle where there was not enough of them. and the price went crazy on the little Yorkies. Now there are plenty of breeders out there, and so the prices have come back down again. English Bulldogs are in that realm as well, where there's not as many English Bulldog breeders. So all breeds do it. The soft-coated Wheaten is just in that cycle where, hey, it's tough to find these guys. In my store, I don't have a soft-coated Wheaten right now, but in the next 4 or 5 weeks, I'll have what's called a Woodle, and it will be a soft-coated Wheaten mixed with a miniature Poodle, so that you're going to have a smaller soft-coated Wheaten look, and so that'll be a really cute breed to have, and everybody will enjoy that. So that's a little bit about it. I think I went through the size, 30 to 40 pounds, 17 to 19 inches tall at the shoulder. They're fairly active, like we said, in the indoors. In the hot weather, you're going to want to get the grooming done. You'll notice that the dog will be panting, and it's because it's trying to get the heat out. So a nice haircut will help cool down that dog. It needs moderate exercise, so it's not that it's not that large breed that is always having to go, and it's always looking forward to the walk. As far as its energy goes, this guy is in that moderate level. So that's the soft-coated Wheaten.
And any soft-coated Wheaten owners out there, we would love to hear from you. 319
Very interesting. We don't hear many.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, what's interesting is that sometimes on the show we say a popular breed, and then we don't get a lot of calls. Sometimes we say a breed that's kind of obscure and get several calls. So I would love to hear if anyone has a soft-coated Wheaten. Tell us a little bit about your dog and just tell us about the personality. And it helps the show. So again, we appreciate it. 319-354-0800. 319-354-0800. We're specifically looking for soft-coated Wheaten owners out there to tell us a little bit about your dog. Just your name, the name of the dog, a little bit about your dog, and then we'll set you up with a free bag of treats and a free bag of dog food courtesy of Nutro. A couple other topics we're going to touch on today. Ron's going to tell you a little bit more about the no-pull collar. And then I'd like to also talk, because you did preview it, is for anyone that's been listening since the beginning and they want you to tell us about the storms. We have more rain coming today. It looks like a series of heavy rain possible. We could have some flash flooding. But when that thunder really starts rolling and you get the dogs scared, and of course 4th of July is coming up too, so talk about that for a little bit, if you could give our listeners some answers on what they can do when their dogs, or I guess cats, get scared about loud thunder.
Loud thunder, and the reason why they get scared is it's the unknown. They don't get to hear that all that frequently, and so it's just an unknown thing to them. There's nothing special about it that, oh, well, they can sense this or that. They just don't understand what's happening, and so it's confusing to them. Just like us, what do we do when something's confusing? We need to learn more about it, discover it, be conditioned to it, and we become more comfortable with it. So your first line of defense long term is exactly that. There's some interesting things that people have done is they've just gotten recordings of thunder and lightning and either played it on their TV or they have done recordings on their audio equipment, and they just play it in their house from time to time to get their dogs and cats used to it. I think that's a wonderful approach because all it is conditioning them that life is okay. Another thing you can add to that equation, when these thunderstorms come today, in the future, what is your dog or cat's favorite treat? Get it when it's coming, when you can hear, or even we all know that our dogs and cats know the thunder is coming before we can even hear it. One, they have a little better hearing than we do, but two, they can notice a pressure change before we can notice it, and they know something's happening out there. When you notice, we know when the storms are coming because of the weatherman, and we then can say, oh, let's go get the treat because he's already freaking out on this whole situation, and show that life is good even now, to try to comfort them, and then they could even look forward to thunderstorms in the future. Oh, it's treat time. Let's go get some treats. That's the atmosphere that you want to have for when they come. So conditioning them is what you want to do as far as long term. You can play sound, you can play the videos, you can then reward them with treats, saying, hey, life is okay, don't worry about it. Giving them the good boy and all that kind of stuff is also good during the thunderstorms. When they see that we're panicked, that's going to just feed to that whole thing. So relax, enjoy the time, and have some fun with your cats and dogs during that time. Now, so those are some long-term ways of handling it. But there's a lot of you out there that are saying, oh my gosh, what do I do right now because everything's going crazy and I want to help out my little cat or dog. One of the things that has taken everybody by storm is those thunder shirts that are out there.
Yeah, the thunder jacket or whatever it's called.
And we've been carrying them from when they came out and have sold many of them. And the whole concept of a thunder shirt is to put compression around their midsection. So I equate it to like swaddling a baby. I remember when Emily was born, the doctor said, or the nurses actually were the ones that said it, wrap that blanket around them tightly. And they showed us how to do that. And they said that gives some comfort to that baby.
Jack loved his Snuggie. That's what we call it, a Snuggie. It was Velcro. It would wrap tight.
Wow.
And it would be like a little burrito.
Okay, so that's something newer. Was it here? Emily's going on 20 years ago. I don't remember a Velcro Snuggie.
Yeah, that's what they call a Snuggie. It's basically just a blanket that they marketed it now, but instead of having to wrap it tight and have it come loose, it has Velcros. So it tightens, and it's called a Snuggie.
That's also called a thunder shirt.
There you go.
The thunder shirts are not much different. They're a little different for a dog because it will wrap around the front chest area so that it stays on the dog and stays in position.
One of my favorite stories about how radio works was about the thunder shirt, actually, and I think you may remember this. We were on this show, and we had a listener on I-80 who was coming from Wisconsin, and they were headed to Colorado or something, so they weren't even an Iowa City listener. They weren't from the area at all, but we were talking about the thunder shirt. He called up live on the show. Ron sent him to the store. He picked up his thunder shirt, and I think later on he had thanked you because it worked. And it was just one of those great stories about not only radio working, but just kind of how it's cool how that's the point of this show, is to help people with pet problems and, of course, have some fun along the way with it. So 319-354-0800, 319-354-0800 if you have a question about the thunder shirt, or if you have a soft-coated Wheaton. That is the breed of the week here today. We'd love to hear from an owner of a soft-coated Wheaton. 319-354-0800. So you can do the thunder shirt. Of course, you always tell people to go to their vet too. I know vets, if the problem gets bad, sometimes they can give them something if they know there's a vacation coming, or if there's a long road trip, or maybe even just for the 4th of July. I'm sure there's some people out there that maybe get some medication or something to help. So your vet can always point in the right direction there too.
Always a great resource.
Anything else on that topic?
Oh, definitely. There's a lot more.
Okay.
As far as that thunder shirt, some things that thunder shirt helps you out with is if your dog is, for nervous reasons, panting, scratching, clinging to people, whining and barking, drooling, going into areas of the house, kind of cowering and stuff, shaking and trembling, not eating, chewing destructively. Now, we all know that dogs chew, so this is something even more intense that you're noticing. Pacing back and forth, eliminating indoors. They actually have found that it helps that because it's a nervous type activity. Again, potty training is your #1 approach there. But if your dog's never done this before, your cat's never done it, all of a sudden urinates on the floor, hey, this is something it could be a sign of anxiety, and so this would be something you could do. So all sorts of really cool ways to use the thunder shirt. Another group of products that we have in the store are by Nature Vet, and this is Quiet Moments, is kind of their patented technology. This is all safe stuff, so the veterinarian is definitely going to have some stronger stuff, and they're going to have medications that can bring everything down to a low level. All of the things that we're talking about today, bring them down a couple of levels. It's not going to eliminate the problem, but it's just it brings them off the edge, kind of a thing. So calming chews are also really good for helping your dog or cat with it. There's 2 ways of getting this product to your dog or cat. One of them is ingestion, so they can eat a treat, and it's all natural stuff, so you can actually dose it up to meet your dog or cat's needs. But then there's also sprays where you can spray it, and there are pheromones and things like that that will help them calm down. It's what the mom would emit to the litter to calm down the puppies so that they would relax, eat, and sleep type thing. So it's all natural products in that way. There's also quiet, oh gosh, Comfort Zone, that's it. A product called Comfort Zone that we have in the store. It's a little more expensive, but it definitely works, and we get a lot of veterinarians recommending that, coming in, having their customers come into our store for that product. And it's something that you plug into the wall in the general vicinity of where your pet resides. That product is something that from experience and our customers' experience, it's more of a 3-day type process rather than a plug it in now and everything calms down. So there's a lot of different products out there. We can help you out, whether it's a chew, a powder, something you put into the water type thing to meet the needs of your pet, how they get that input.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that collar too, the no pull collar, which you said were flying off the shelves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the. I have a theme song for the Thunder shirt.
What is it? Oh, it is Thunder. Yeah.
Thunder.
These cats in here.
Thunder shirt.
That's good. I like.
You like it?
Yeah.
Now we've got something to play every time we talk about the Thunder shirt. I don't think I can fade this down until it kicks in, though, right? You gotta let it go.
I can't remember how the song goes. Does it come out more fun? I mean, they're just chanting Thunder right now. Oh, AC/DC.
Yes.
On a Thursday morning. Wow, I feel alive now.
Yes, right? That's all it took. A little AC/DC. Now we can turn into our sister station. Kick out to the Fox. It's back-to-back AC/DC coming up next.
And there he is.
There we go.
So the no pull collar is a wonderful thing. There are so many things that we talk about in the store with our customers, and finding out. A question I like to ask is, I know you love your dog and all that kind of stuff, and you can see that in the customers. My thing is what bothers you the most about your pet? And I always challenge them to think through it a little bit, and within 10 seconds they come out with something. And frequently it is, my dog pulls when we go for a walk, and I don't really appreciate that. I have a 7-pound dog, and I would agree, it irritates me when we go for a walk. I mean, we make jokes about it and all that kind of stuff, that she's just so spastic and all that. But she is just all over the place. Little Susie, our trouble child, she is just crazy when she goes out all over the place. These no-pull collars are so great that you will get immediate effects. We're not training the dog to do anything different. We're using natural pressure points and all that kind of stuff, not hurting them or doing anything bad to your dog. That'll allow you to go for a walk and not have your arm yanked off, whether it's a big dog or a small dog. These things work. The no-pull collar that I love is it's made by Sporn. I think I've posted that on Facebook a couple of times. I'll do it again today, later on. But it just has a strap. It's got like the normal collar that goes around the neck, like you were all used to. But it has 2 additional straps that go through around their front legs, and then attaches back up in the back area. When you pull, you just tighten those armpit areas a little bit. It has petting and everything in it, so it's not like it's hurting. It just is a natural tendency for your dog to slow down.
It's like
when you pull on.
You compared it to the horse, right?
Yeah, a little bit like a horse. When you pull the head down,
the nose,
yeah, the horse.
Yeah, it goes down, and it doesn't like that, so it won't do it. And that's the idea, right?
Yeah, pull down on that collar, and so it kind of gets them down. You don't even see it happening. They just normally slow down.
And I know that this is going to hit home with some people, but I recall when I had my lab.
Oh,
no,
lab.
As a boy, we had a lab that loved to pull.
Oh,
pull. It was like a yellow lab. His name was Bandit. He was all kinds of trouble. But when we would take walks, we ended up getting one of those collars that would, I guess it's called a choke collar, but when he would pull, it would it would tighten, and so all he would do is just pull harder and then not be able to breathe. So he's pulling, and then he's just, as he's walking, he's going, he's having trouble breathing, but he's still pulling. It didn't help at all.
The choker collar, there is a place for that, but that is training now. In your situation that you just described, you weren't using it properly.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is something that you have to get trained on how to use it in order for it to be effective. This product, you just put it on and it works. There's no, like, it's not restricting airways or anything like that. It's all just mixed up.
That sounds like a good product.
It's just
right there.
amazing. It is so fun to put it on dogs in the store while the customer is like, I got this pulling issue and all that kind of stuff. You put it on and I go, hey, I want you to walk around our store. We fitted it. Now everything is good. I want you to walk around the store. I want you to see if this solves your problem. Within 10 feet, they turn around and give you the best smile ever because they're like, oh my God.
So they're walking out with it, I bet, too.
Oh yeah. And if you want to try it for 30 minutes just to make sure, is it really working? Is it really working? Go ahead.
Right. And what's it called? Like if somebody came to the store, they heard this show, and they're thinking, you know what? When I take my dog for a walk, he's pulling me into the bushes. I don't want my dog pulling me anymore. You heard about it. You're sold. You want to go in and get this thing. When they come in, talk to any one of your associates, say, can I get the no pull collar?
That's all you got to say, because there are some different versions. Okay. Some people like the concepts of other ones versus, this and all that.
Different styles and colors and stuff?
Yep. Well, they're basically in that black category, but yeah.
Okay.
So, very cool.
Good. All right. Well, we've touched on pretty much all I think you want to talk about today. We have a couple of minutes left. Anything else you want to mention?
We just talk about what our store is all about. Petland in Iowa City is all about introducing or educating even further wherever you're at about the pets that we love. So if you have ever come in, we're very tactile as far as you're getting to play with the pets in our store. That helps us in a great way in that you're actually socializing all of our pets and getting them used to people. We always say when people are looking at our puppies is, their mom, that puppy's mom, for the first 8 weeks are critical to the nurturing, caring, and the beginning of training for that little puppy. That mom will not only provide the proper nutrients, but that mom is actually training that little puppy to know right from wrong aspects. When we get them in after 8 weeks into our store, that's when we're really socializing them with people, a lot of different people. You know how you go to somebody's house and their dog is yippy, nippy, or whatever what's not non-social activity? Those dogs just need to be exposed to more and more people in a friendly environment, and that's what we do in our store. So our pets all are being handled by people and go home really comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. And it's something that you want to continue on at home because they can always revert back. But as long as you keep that socialization going, you generally have a nice dog. Now there's some other training techniques that we show you in our store on how to handle all that. But that's what we're all about, is that training aspect. All of our puppies go home with training kits. When you go to a breeder, that's a fun time. But all you have is that one type of dog that you're looking at. At our store, you've got all these different breeds that you're looking at, so we're finding the right pet for the right family. But then meeting the needs of both, and that's the training package you get with Petland puppies is amazing. It goes everything from potty training to barking to biting to all sorts of different ways on helping your dog. And here we're talking about no pull. So we're all about that educating and helping you have a great time with your pet.
That's Ron Salsrud with Petland of Iowa City. I'm Jay Capron. Ron, I can't make this stuff up. You know how the cat kept going into the garbage?
Yes.
As I picked her up, she pooped in the garbardage.
Nice.
I kid you not.
I have been trying to get them to. I was putting
so this cat is now litter trained. Apparently, I'm not making it up. Go look.
Right into
she pooped in the garbage. There you go.
That's the way to do it.
Unbelievable. This has been the Positive Petland Show. Bye.
Celebrate Father's Day at Iowa City Landscaping.
That is hilarious. I have been putting them into Gilbert's litter box, and I don't think they have gone. And I'm like, how long can you hold it?
Free for free. One free
it's a little stinky, though.
Yes, but that's an easy one. Bag up and seal it, get a new bag.
Great gifts for Dad at Iowa City Landscaping and Garden Center. Nature of Excellence. 520 Highway 1.
know what's interesting is I have that top entry with the box. Have you got that thing?
Henry KXIC.
I never got that
Litter.
litter.
Yeah,
With,
I
never got that. I should just bring them back.
Sales tax in front of voters.
I think I was, you were going to give it to me to take it.
Property tax reform aspect.
It's all right.
Last year means
If it's good, I'll use it.
more revenue details.